They made the drive in the fourth quarter, did the plays on defense they needed to do to win the game. I just have to be very careful with what I say because people take things I say and sometimes hear something else because my wife tells me I don't communicate the best sometimes, so I have to make sure I say this the right way. As you go through this, the hardest part of what we did when we went to Temple and what we did when we went to Baylor was getting guys not to say, oh, here we go again, getting guys not to expect to lose, getting everyone, including the people around the program, not to focus always on what's wrong, but what's right, right? And that's hard, right? You're constantly talking to your staff, your coaches, players. Last week was a low for us since we've been here. Because the minute the game got hard, we kind of looked around like, oh no, what's happening to us? Kind of victims, like, yeah, this is happening to us. And this was a hard week. This was a hard week. But a week that I knew, because of my experiences, it would turn into something good. It would teach. Players would see us, instead of us being defensive as things are said, they would see us stand like men. You know, anyone can just be defensive. They just stand like men in front of them, not blame the players, but work hand in hand with them. And we expected to come here and win the football game. We expected to win. And so I say this, to me, it's so hard because you don't want it to sound like a moral victory because we lost. We're not here to lose. The University of Nebraska, we're not here to lose. But in terms of the development and growth of what you're trying to build, because while the world, everyone wants things to happen quickly, if you want it to be sustainable, if you want it to last forever, you have to do it the right way. I get asked a lot of questions about, why aren't we doing it this way, that way? We're trying to build something sustainable. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, who knows? A lot of you guys have seen a lot of guys come here try to do it and it hasn't worked. So I'm trying it a different way. I was proud of that football team today. I was proud. They didn't back down. They had some really tough breaks. They had some things really go against them, even the way we started. And they competed. It was the first time. It's the first time. It's the first time since I've been here that I felt championship mindset in the locker room. Along with the championship mindset, as those who compete know, comes utter disappointment when you lose. So that part's hard. It's hard for the guys. But I saw a group of guys, even at the very end, take the field, going out there to make one more play, have a chance to compete against one of the best teams in the country. So I thought they grew up. I challenged them. You better look this way next week. Some of the football still's tough. It's hard. You're literally, some of our administrators, when they hear me on the field, I'm still, we got some young guys out there still coaching things out there in the middle of the game that in a year or two you hope that it's second nature. It's just what it is. But for those of us who believe in the long way, the hard way, for those of us who haven't had things handed to us, for those of us who believe in building, for those people who believe in putting in an honest day's work, like I hope while they're disappointed, they're proud of what they saw, what they competed. And while I yelled at the officials sometimes and all that, our players didn't let it bother them. Our players just continued to compete. Thought we played with class and dignity. We had a chance to win. So I know that's long. I know it's hard. I don't say that to justify what we're doing. I say that so our players will understand why I'm so proud. Not satisfied. It's very, very, very important. There are no moral victories, but proud. But proud. With that, I'll take the questions you guys have.
Can you discuss how you had success against Ohio State's run game, both what you guys did well and what you might have been able to take advantage of in terms of what Ohio State was doing?
I thought our defense was dominant all day. Save 3 plays. Take away 3 plays. I think on the first one, we were playing a little 3 down and we took advantage of it. Tony did such a nice job. We kind of recognized pretty early we were going to be able to rush the passer, so we went back to 4 down. The second one, kind of a condensed set, check, and they just, Jeremiah's a really, really good player. He ran by us, and just a nice play by them. Just made a play, right? And then really the third one, they just kind of ran a double move out and up and just caught us in the zone coverage where you need someone just to make a great play. We just, we didn't see it. Other than those 3 plays, I think that was probably as good a defense as I've seen, for most of the day. I thought we tackled well, we handled the run, won on the perimeter, we hit the quarterback. I think that, my eyes aren't very good, so it's hard. I don't know what the third down numbers were, but I thought we were excellent on third down, including some 1 for 10, some third and ones and third and twos and 4th and 1 stops. So, we won the last play, we won the turnover battle with Matt Malcolm's great pick. So, I don't think it was anything special. They have a great run game. Chips, they've got great players, got a great coach. I think our guys just played really well, played physical, played hard, got off blocks. We didn't do anything real special today.
Ohio State's defense is obviously really good. There's moments, obviously, I'm sure you're thinking about is the goal line situation. There's 4 plays from the 7, all of them were runs. Can you maybe just walk us through the process of those play calls and why you feel like that series fell short?
Yeah, I think you have the ball down there, you need to score a touchdown. I can only really probably talk about the last one. We had him set up to run the speed sweep. We thought we'd get in. When Jalen went down, we thought Jalen went down inside the 1. As the official came out, he's coming down like on the 1 yard line, and then as he runs out, that's how you spot balls, right? Kind of goes to the 2. We lost Barrett, our fullback, last week, so we had to use defensive players. So we send them out, thinking the ball's in the 1. As the ball gets respotted back to the 2, and you probably saw me pretty animated about it. Now you're calling that play from the 1.5, 2 yard line. I think the same play happened right before the half, right? Like we thought we had a first down, so then we had to, burn it. So, and I'm not complaining about the officiating. I'm just telling you the impact. And when you're on the road in this environment with the noise and all the things that are happening, credit to the Ohio State fans. What a great environment. The red coats, from the minute you get here, they're nice and friendly to you, and the game starts, and they're here to make that hard. A ball you think spotted somewhere that gets moved back really affects play calls that you have. I do think, it's hard in life, they have to find, at the end, when you look at the results, if they don't work, they don't work, but you're also saying to yourself, the best things we did today were also Dante on some big runs, and so, if you want to run the ball, you have to sometimes be willing to have a 2 yard gain, 3 yard gain, which sets up now a ball outside, which we thought maybe Jalen would score on, and if not, we said we'll get the ball down inside the 1 and we'll pound it. If it's 4th and 3, then we'll throw the ball in. Just the spot got us, and again, I didn't want to use a timeout there in the second half. Maybe I should have, but I knew the game would come down to the end. We need the timeouts, and the other thought process being, if we run the ball, if we pound it in there, we run the ball at the 1, score. If we don't get it, we'll get the ball right back, which we did, and that's kind of the thought process down there.
Matt, can you detail that that championship mindset that you saw and just when and how that came through to you in the locker room? Was it through the week, and when did you see it?
I think I've been pretty consistent in saying, to you guys, I think the guys do a great job during the week. It's getting to these moments and saying, here we go again. I'm just, again, I don't want anyone to take anything I say the wrong way, because everything I say is with peace and love. But when they haven't won, and the commentary around them is always pretty like, hey, this isn't good enough. They're in a culture where all they hear is like, this isn't good enough. And so how do you get them through that? You push them through that. You push them through that. It's just what it is. You push them through that. And so we always work hard. I've never had a time where I thought the guys didn't work hard. But I thought they went out there, the game couldn't have started any worse. It's like, holy smokes. And the defense took the field, like last year, and said, let's go get a stop. They got to stop. But I thought it was before the game, and I thought it was at halftime. Really at halftime, I told them. Because last week I said some different things to them at halftime. And this week at halftime I said, this is what it's supposed to look like. If I start worrying about the results only, and you had a coach, you had Coach Osborne, who all he talked about was the process and not the results. Everybody knows what it's supposed to look like. Coach Osborne taught us. He showed us. Worry about the process. And so, to me, the way it felt at halftime was the process. Like, they were excited to get back out there and play. They were not like, oh man, I can't believe I can't believe they called OP, offensive pass interference on that play. They weren't worried about that, which a lot of times our guys are worried about. You always got me saying, just play. What's next? Just play. What's next? And so I felt like a lot of the things we talk about took hold today. And that to me is something I feel relieved. I feel despondent that we lost the game. I thought we were going to win the game. I feel beat up for the guys. But I know when I say these things, a lot of people are probably going to take them the wrong way. I also know, like, across the country, I tell Troy, like, I got college coaches who text me sometimes, like, hey, Matt, I listen to your press conferences every week, because I'm really, honestly, doing my best for people who want to hear it. Not pick it apart, but want to hear it, trying to give everyone a step-by-step picture of what we're trying to do. It's easy to pick apart. But, like, I'm just trying to, like, lay it out there for people who love coaching and love kids. You know how hard it is to, like, come up here every week and talk about what went wrong without ever making a kid look bad. Like, I listen to coaches all the time talk about we got to execute. That means your players aren't very good. When coaches say we just got to execute better, they're throwing on the kids. And just, we stand up here and we try so hard to give everyone a true picture. Because one thing I love about Nebraska fans is they love football. They want to know the hows, the whats, the whys. And I listen to the people I trust. Like I called Coach Osborne on Sunday. I said, Coach, you got 5 minutes for me? What do you think? Coach Osborne and Coach Solis came to practice on Tuesday. Coach, And the old things are the real things, are the good things. And so I'm only saying this now because I want our players, if they just listen to this press conference, to know how truly, truly, truly excited I was to be in that locker room with them. I didn't have to be a cheerleader today. I didn't have to be like, come on, you can do this. Like, they were like, get out of the way. And we've had moments like that. That was 60 minutes of that today. Dylan went into the tent before the last drive. I'm like, hey, Heine, get ready to go. And Dylan comes back out. He's like, let's go. And Dylan didn't want to just be in the game. He wanted to go win the game, right? And it got really, really, really loud. So we had the false start, and we don't miss a play. But so the football will get better. The football will continue to get better. But make no mistake, the hardest thing is building a culture of championship caliber expectations without winning. There's a lot of guys that have taken a lot of jobs that are already winning, and they keep it going. I should probably try that sometime. But this to me is why the Lord put me on this earth. Like, to work with young people and to have them raise their expectations. And it's why these guys are here. That's Dylan, Jacory, they could have gone somewhere where they were already winning. They came here to build it. So I'm proud of them. And I say all this because I hope fans are disappointed, but I hope they're proud of them. Now, if we don't do it again next week, Mitch, to your point, if we go out there next week and we're front runners again, then it was all for naught. Like, this is a step. And it has to be where we are now, that we play this way every week. Yeah, football has to be better, but my take.
How much did it mean to see John make those kicks, and how it lifted the team, maybe even go to the locker room when he hits that 54-yarder?
Well, I'm so fired up for him. And again, on the same vein, on the same point, because even last week, I think Mitch asked me, like, hey, did you not kick it because of, and I said, hey, I think he's going to make these kicks. And that was a great question. I'm not saying that, Mitch, to you, please. I think that's the right question, right? But if you go back to my answers, I was like, hey, I think he's going to be a great kicker someday. I mean, I've said that on record. Like, I think he's going to be a great kicker someday. It's just, things take time. But now you have him for what? How many years do you have him for? You have him for 4 years? So you have that kid who makes those kicks in those moments. Like, if you want to know why I feel fulfilled, not satisfied, but fulfilled, it's because if you go back to my press conference a couple weeks ago, I told him, I said, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, man. Like, you're walking through the valley of the shadow of death, but in this program, you don't have to walk there alone, right? Like you walk there arm in arm with the guys. Like, every day he kicks field goals. You know who's standing right next to him, cheering him on? Jacory. Jacory, screaming. That's our starting freshman wideout, screaming, and he made those kicks. I mean, I was like, man. I said to Marv before the game, like, hey, if it's a long kick, should I put him out there? His confidence. Brett was like, don't worry about his confidence. Put him out there. So. I think some of our guys are really getting better.
Matthew, how
I'll answer them all today. I spent a lot of time philosophizing. They have some football questions.
Well, I was going to ask, how satisfied were you with your physicality today? Because it looked like you on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, you go back last week. I don't. It's going to sound weird. I don't know that like the guys weren't willing to be physical. We were just really out of whack. Like, we were expecting one type of game, and it was another type of game, and we didn't tackle well. Today, I think the guys squeezed blocks and ran the ball together, and sometimes you give up. You're playing really good run defense like that, and all of a sudden you give up a big play, and all of a sudden guys start to panic a little bit, but they didn't. And we played a lot of guys. We didn't have Tommy today. Sierra played. Malcolm moved to corner for us. Malcolm played corner. Keys played safety. Deshaun played safety. Jeremiah finished the game at corner. when Malcolm went down. So, yeah, I mean, we want to be a physical team. We want to be the most physical team on the field today. We want to win the turnover battle. We want to have a culture of execution, do our job.
How would you, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, but more importantly, we want to be the more physical team. That's a physical team too. Like they play defense, and you know, one of the tough things we're going on is 4 straight games of us going into a team off a bye. A team off a bye has 2 weeks to study you, 2 weeks to prepare for you. So we came out early on, you know, corners over man, and they run to cover 2, and so we lose a play there. And Dylan did a great job. The little things Dylan does, you know, no one will see, but did a good job of getting us in the right plays after a while. So.
Now, how would you sum up the last offensive series? As you mentioned, Dylan, you didn't know if you were going to have him maybe, and it was chaotic because there was a break in the action while they were figuring out the penalty and all that stuff.
Well, it was a break in the action too. You know, they told us to come in the middle of the field because they were throwing balls. Yeah. Right. Like, I mean, like, let's talk about, you know, that was you know, there's water bottles. I'm not. Trust me, I'm all for all. I'm from Philly. I'm all for all that. Like, it doesn't bother me. You just got the guys in the middle, so let's go. But you know, we had the penalty, right? And there's 3:45 left, and so you know, we always expect something good to happen. So really, in those situations, we call a last shot. You're trying to get the ball with 2-minute warning, so that they don't have an opportunity to go back and answer. Like, you're either going to win that, won a game-winning buzzer beater. At the end of the game, go down there and throw a touchdown and give them 17 seconds left, or not. So that happened. You know, we ran the screenplay, and we just missed the block on the man-to-man defender. You know, we have them. We just missed the block on the man-to-man defender. Come back, you know, they're being pretty exotic there. I didn't see, you know, the last plays, pushing the ball down the field. I didn't see exactly what happened on that last play, but you know, these are great reps for Dylan. You know, I mean, I know he wanted to win. These are great reps for Gunner. These are great reps for Jacory. Like, a lot of those guys, like, you know. Thought Isaiah Nayor today showed up and played probably one of his best games. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'll have to see exactly. I mean, they've got quite a pass rush. They've got great players on defense, and you know, I thought we hung in there though. You know, on those plays, they got us some 0 the one time in the red zone. That was really difficult because we would have kicked a field goal there, and that might have changed the game. We called a ball and tried to get the ball in his hands, and they just brought more than we could block, and you know, didn't get it off. So we had some other opportunities that we just have to keep working on.
What is your analysis of the screen game?
Of the screen game?
Mm-hmm.
I thought today, we thought because of their pass rush, we'd really have to screen them because they've typically historically been a 4-man rush team with Larry Johnson. They brought a lot more pressures today, and so sometimes the dropping ends. I think we had one early that we liked, but other than that, you know, I think early in the game we said, hey, let's get out of the screen game. It's just more of a zone blitz pressure game. And then, you know, the one at the end, it's first and 8 for 15 or whatever it was, and we went to a man beater and just didn't make the block. You know, so wasn't good enough probably today. That part of the football was definitely not good enough to screen game.
You talked about the championship attitude in the locker room. You're the first team to score in Ohio State in the third quarter. In fact, you outscored them 3-0. Was that attitude? Was there some key adjustments that you made? What was your success there?
You know, I thought we found some runs in the third quarter. You know, we ran a couple wham trap plays. You know, we whammed the 3 technique, and Dante close to splitting one. You know, he looked like he was about to go for 80, and the guy came and tackled him around the ankles. So I thought we got the run game going there. And, you know, we punted the ball down, you know, then we got the pick. You know, so we played on their side of the 50. You know, we look back at the game just from a football perspective. You know, you have to make more of those opportunities, whether it's the goal line plays that Sam talked about, or not always kicking field goals, but scoring some more touchdowns. You know, that was part of it. But I mean, again, they have a great defense. You know, but our kids made some plays to hang in there and stay with it.
Did you lose a timeout there at the end because of Ohio State injury, or how did that all unfold?
Yeah, so it was 3rd and 11, so I wanted to call timeout because you want to get the ball back and save 40 seconds. Then, you know, the guy went down, so I just said, hey, do I get that timeout back? You know, because every crew's a little different. Sometimes they'll give you that timeout back. I wanted it back. I didn't get it back. And then you know, we had that situation where targeting plus the catch, and then I was watching. I saw Coach Day, you know, out there at the numbers, and they threw 15 on him. So then when they unthrew the 15, I was just confused, right? I'm trying to figure out where the ball's at. So a lot of these, you know, it's just so loud out there. Sometimes you know, it looks like you're like this. You know, I had them come over because you think the ball's gonna be at the 35-yard line, you're calling a different play than if the ball's at the 50 or the ball's at the -45. So, you know, if a flag's thrown, I can't hear when they say like, hey, You know, that I can't hear what's being said. So I was just trying to figure out what happened. You know, unique circumstances, right? Like they said they had us come out. They said, hey, bring your team off the sideline. That wasn't me trying to motivate the guys. That was me like, hey guys, put your helmets on. Something might hit you. So, but again, at the end of the day, credit to Ohio State. They made plays. They made the play. They made the drive to go down there and win. And their defense made, you know, one more play than we did. And we'll be back.
What was up, Dylan?
I don't know that. I don't. They say it was the 10. I don't know if he got hit on the shoulder or something. I'm not sure exactly.
Good.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go. Yeah, Malcolm.